Hello everyone, welcome to another one of these weird yapping tier list videos. Today is Mario Day, or March 10th, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to do the mainline Mario games, because, yeah, I've played a pretty good amount of them, and, you know, it's kind of the day and everything, so I was like, well, why not? This could be a fun, dumb little video to do. I'm specifically sticking to, like, the mainline platformers in particular, so I thought it would be kind of unfair to for me to put, like, Paper Mario up against some of the platformers, because, like, obviously Paper Mario would go in S, but for, you know, different reasons than, like, you know, something else would go in the S that is a platformer, that, you know, they have different gameplay and stuff, so it didn't feel fair to rate them together, so sticking to just the platformers, I believe, so let's go ahead and hop in. This will probably be pretty short, but I was like, it's a fun little idea to do, and people seem to like the Metroid one well enough, so let's go ahead and start with Mario Bros, which I have played a pretty good amount of. I remember playing this with my mom a lot, and my mom played a ton of it and knew like where everything was and all of that. And I've also watched like a ton of speedrunning videos, specifically like Summoning Salt videos on Mario Brothers and stuff, so I know a fair bit about the game, both in like the speedrunning sense and just the gameplay sense, and it was the first one. I think it gets an okie dokie from me. I mean, it paved the way for a lot. It cannot be understated how much of an impact Super Mario Bros. Had, and you know what it did, what it went on to be, etc., etc. But as far as like if I was going to sit down and play it right now, like I would have fun with it. Like I think it would be a fun time. It is hard, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think it's going to go in a B for me, just like the original Super Mario Bros. A good baseline. And then we have the Lost Levels, which I haven't played much of. I think I played it a little bit back in the day, probably like emulated it or something. So I have played a little bit of it. It does do some interesting things. I feel like my main current exposure to it was probably once again from like Summoning Salt videos and stuff. So it probably just goes in B with Super Mario Brothers, let's be honest. I mean, it's effectively the same game. It's basically just like a DLC for Mario Bros. Because if I remember correctly, the Lost Levels were just like that was like Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan, but we had Super Mario Bros. 2, which was actually just Doki Doki Panic in Japan, but they called it Super Mario Bros. 2 here in the US, so it's like a whole weird thing. I actually really like Super Mario Bros. 2. I played a ton of it on my GBA, I believe I had it on. It's a very weird game, but it gave us Birdo and just a lot of stuff. I do think it gave us some pretty interesting things, so I am going to kind of order them in the tier based off of how high into the tier I think they are. So I think Super Mario Bros. 2 is higher than Super Mario Bros. 1, for example. It's a weird one. You could play as multiple characters, which I always thought was neat. It's kind of the start of a lot of things in Mario, like Birdo kind of got a start there, Luigi having a different jump than Mario started there, Toad being really fast compared to everyone else started there, Peach being able to float started there. I think that's the first time you like picked up the turnips too, which is like, you know, just an ability that Peach has in Smash Brothers now, which is funny that's just a thing. So that's cool. That's cool. I think Super Mario Bros. 2. I'll probably be talking about a lot of, you know, not just judging it based off of what, like, how good the game is or how much I would enjoy playing it, but also thinking about like the impact it had and things as well. So Super Mario Bros. 3. So I have played some of Super Mario Bros. 3. I have not played it as much as some of the other things on this list, but I played a pretty good amount of it. I should also add a tier for, so I think it's, add a row below. I usually, whoops, that was what, green? I don't know why they make green, game over by default in these. Like, red always to me is bad and green is good, so it would be the reverse, but whatever. But, this one, we're gonna make, like, gray. And this is usually what I put as my, like, didn't play, tier. So we can go ahead and add that. I just realized I should add that. I have played Super Mario Bros. 3, obviously, so Super Mario Bros. 3 we are going to be judging. Super Mario Bros. 3. I think something I really, really like about Super Mario Bros. 3 is how it has like a world map and you can go around it and you can pick up items and stuff like that. Like, I have a lot of good memories of Super Mario Bros. 3, not as much as some of the other ones. But I think Super Mario Bros. 3 deserves to be like here. I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is an A, and I think I would get crucified if I didn't say Super Mario Bros. 3 deserves an A. I've obviously played a little bit less of the 2D Super Mario Bros. Games than I have the 3D ones, but I think Super Mario Bros. 3 deserves an A. It's a very good game. Super Mario Land is the first reason why I added didn't play, because I don't think I played Super Mario Land. I think it's a Game Boy game, because I'm pretty sure Super Mario Land 2 is a Game Boy game, which I did play a lot of, actually. But Super Mario Land, never really touched it. Super Mario World, absolutely an S. I love Super Mario World so much. It was probably the first Mario game that I really, really got into. I remember something that I've mentioned a few times in LPs before, and people that have watched me for a while might know, is something I did when I was a kid is I would just play a game until I got stuck, and then I would restart, and I would just do that with a lot of my favorite games, like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Tactics, Super Mario World, Fable, like, and although Fable, it wasn't because I got stuck, Fable was because I got to the Balverine Forest and I was too scared to continue. Same kind of in Final Fantasy VII, honestly, because I got to Nibelheim and was too scared of the Shinra Mansion and couldn't continue, so I would get there and restart the game. So most of my early experience with Final Fantasy VII was just rolling around in the Sector 7 slums. So, yeah, weird tangents aside, Super Mario World I played a ton of. Usually, I feel like I would get stuck around, like, the Forest of Illusion, I think it's called, because I was too young to, like, really get or understand how to solve, like, the finding alternate exits and stuff to get through the various areas, but yeah, I would sometimes play on my brother's save file, who was way further than me, so I could actually get access to the other levels, but yeah, I remember Super Mario World just being magical to me as a kid, because it was a platformer, but you had a world map, and you could explore it, and you could find hidden things, and like, there was so much cool stuff in it. I think it kind of almost felt like an RPG to my, like, young kid brain, because there was just so much exploration in it. A lot of platformers that I'd played before that, you were just thrown into a world, and then you go to the next world. Like, I think of Sonic, it's like you just go from 1-1 to 1-2, and, you know, same for, like, the original Super Mario Brothers. But this was magical in a different way, because I did have a world to explore, as is the name. Also, the first game with Yoshi, and I really did like Yoshi. I also just love the art of Super Mario World. I think as far as the 2D ones go, Super Mario World art is probably my favorite. I think it's one of the more timeless ones. It's just really, 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 really nice. So Super Mario World absolutely gets an S for me. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. I am going to be honest, I know a lot of people like this game. I played a ton of it, and I remember it very, 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 very much frustrating me. I remember it had like this, like, I don't remember what it was. I remember not liking the music. Like, I can still think of some of the music right now, and just hating some of the music. Either because the level was painful for me, or because I just didn't vibe with it. But I remember, oh god, there's like a level where you're like jumping in jello, and I remember hating that level. I remember hating that level so much. I remember it's like also like a really weird game, because I don't even remember who the big bad was. Was that Wart, or was that Super Mario Bros. 2? I think Wart was Super Mario Bros. 2. But Super Mario Land 2, isn't that big bad like Wario or something? I want to say it was... I want to say it was Wario, honestly, but I'm not sure. I know Wario first appears in like one of the Super Mario Land games, but I'm not sure which one. But yeah, I remember fighting like a weird bird thing. And I remember it just has like really weird levels. Like, I want to say one is like a toy box level or something, and then there's like, I think the Jello one is part of like a food world. I don't remember. We can also just open image in new tab and look at this. Yeah, see, like the bird, there's a shark, and there's a weird Koopa, there's a Buzzy Beetle and stuff. I don't know. Oh yeah, and then you had the rabbit cap, which it's not as good. It's not as good as the Tanuki suit. Let's be real. So that is that. Okay, Super Mario World 2 or Super Mario Land 2. Yeah. I also had somebody in my Discord ask about doing the Resident Evil games on a list of this since I played 9, but I legitimately don't feel like I've actually played and experienced enough of the Resident Evil series to be able to do that. I mean, if people really wanted to see my thoughts on Resident Evil, like, I've experienced a lot of them by watching playthroughs and stuff, but I wouldn't call myself an expert on Resident Evil games. I mean, I wouldn't call myself an expert on these either, but I feel like I have to know the story and mechanics a little bit less in a Mario game than I do, like, you know, RE and stuff, so... But yeah, that'd come up, but I was like, I don't feel like I have enough interesting to say about Resident Evil, but maybe? I don't know, but... alright, Super Mario 64. So... I really like Super Mario 64. This is an interesting bit of history for me. I didn't have an N64 until kinda late, and even then when I did get it, I never got Super Mario 64. I would play it at my, my dad had a friend, and I would go over to their house and play with the friends' two kids a lot, and they had Super Mario 64. And they were exasperated with me, because every single time I went over there, the only thing I wanted to play was Super Mario 64. Because I was just enamored by the aesthetics and, like, how it played out and everything. The fact that you're in this mysterious castle, and... Something I was always just amazed by as a kid was open world stuff, just being able to explore. I've mentioned before, like, one of the reasons I really struggled when I was a kid with, like, games with timed mechanics, like Pikmin and Majora's Mask, is because I would just get too distracted and immersed in a world and want to explore every corner. Like, in my dumb little child head, playing Majora's Mask, it's like, I'm sitting here walking into a wall and slashing it with my sword because I'm like, well, there could be anything there, you know? Like, is there a way for me to be able to fly? Is there like a secret power-up or item I can get that would let me do crazy stuff? Like, that was the kind of stuff going through my head. So I moved through things incredibly slowly. So being timed was awful for me. Like, when I played Majora's Mask when I was a child, I never got past the Forest Temple because I could never beat the Forest Temple in like a single cycle. I also never used like the Song of Reverse Time or whatever, the one that slows things down. Basically. But, yeah, I could never get very far into Majora's Mask. When I played Pikmin, people that know me know about this, I would just raise my Pikmin. I basically wouldn't play the game as intended. I would just wait until Olimar died and then restart the game, because I wouldn't even go for ship parts. I would just focus on getting my food for my Pikmin and caring for them is effectively all I would do in the Pikmin games. I would just raise them. I would treat it like an ant farm, basically. Just get them food. Don't even worry about Olimar. But all that aside, weird tangent aside, I was obsessed with Super Mario 64 playing it at my friend's house. I just loved the idea of a big open world that you could explore, and then you jump in the paintings, and then it takes you to a new world that's another world for you to explore. It was a game with multiple worlds. Like, that was craziness to me. I loved it. I loved exploring the castle. I liked the movement a lot. I obviously love the music, so it, of course, gets an S. I do think Super Mario 64 goes over Super Mario World for me. Obviously, I replayed it again recently with the collection, and it's hard. It's hard, and some of the stuff can feel a little bit clunky now, but it's also important to note just how much of an impact Super Mario 64 had on the industry in general, because it revolutionized, like, how a camera works in, like, open world games and just all kinds of stuff, you know, with them having, like, Lakitu being behind you and holding the camera at all times to explain, like, how the camera works and why it works like that. But it pioneered a lot of things. My headset just turned off. Also has probably one of my favorite songs in video games ever, which is Dire Dire Docks. It's one of those songs I can listen to and instantly feel at ease. It has such a monumentally calming effect on me. So yeah, Super Mario 64 goes in S, I think. I think it goes in S. It deserves it. It's really cool. So that goes up there. Super Mario Sunshine. This is a divisive one for a lot of people. I thought it said it was on DS, but no, that's Super Mario 64 kind of rolling over. Fun fact, oh, there was one thing I forgot to mention about Super Mario 64. So I said I never got Super Mario 64. When we got our GameCube, when we got our N64, we did go to the store, and my parents were like, you can get one game for it. We got Pokemon Stadium with it, because it came with the Pokemon Stadium bundle, but this was a little bit after we got the N64. I think it was my birthday or something. They were like, you can get one game, and I wanted Super Mario 64, of course. Well, my brother and my mom were there. They would not, I don't know why, I still to this day do not know why. They would not let me get Super Mario 64. They were like, no, don't get Super Mario 64. My brother was like, I've already played that one, so I won't play it with you, etc. They were big selling me on Paper Mario. Which, I still to this day do not know why they did that. I don't know why they were pushing me away from getting Super Mario 64 so much, but they wanted me to get Paper Mario. No idea why. I mean, it was a fantastic decision because Paper Mario ended up being like one of my favorite games of all time. I do think I would have loved Super Mario 64 as well. But yeah, that was how I played Paper Mario, because I wanted to go there, I had Super Mario 64, I knew the game I wanted, and they talked me into Paper Mario instead, because for some reason, both of them hated the idea of me playing Super Mario 64. No idea why. Maybe I would have gotten frustrated with it and cried, I don't know, but... That's how I first played Paper Mario, fun fact. But this reminded me of that, because Super Mario Sunshine, when I got my GameCube, I don't remember which birthday it was, but it was some birthday. I got the Indigo one. So it should have been pretty early on. I think this was the first console that was bought specifically for me. All my other consoles before that point were just hand-me-downs from my brother, or my brother wanted them, so I ended up playing them. That was how it worked for the PS2 and all that stuff, because I remember we got a PS2 kind of late, and my brother specifically got a PS2 to play Final Fantasy X. So that was how I got a PS2. But Super Mario Sunshine, I remember when I got my GameCube, I opened up my presents and my parents had two games for me. One of them was rented, one of them was bought. I remember being surprised by this at the time, and I'm still kind of surprised by it today. The game they bought me was Luigi's Mansion. The game they rented me was Super Mario Sunshine. And I remember at the time being like kind of disappointed. I was like, oh, I would have rathered Sunshine. And honestly, Sunshine does have more replay value for, you know, people that know games, because like not to diss Luigi's Mansion, but it's a very short game. It doesn't have as much stuff going on in it as Super Mario Sunshine does. It's not as replayable. But I did end up loving Luigi's Mansion, and it was incredibly replayable for me because I replayed it a ton. But I do still think Super Mario Sunshine was the better choice. Maybe Sunshine was more expensive or something, and that's why they got me Luigi's Mansion. But yeah, I ended up loving Sunshine. I did eventually buy it myself. But my first time playing it, it was rented from a place that's like kind of was kind of local to my area called Family Video. But yeah, we rented it. I absolutely loved it. I was enamored with Super Mario Sunshine. A lot of people don't like it because FLUDD's kind of different. Would I put it above 64? Honestly, I think they're kind of the same for me. I definitely played more Sunshine than 64, I'll be honest. So maybe it should go like that. I know this is a hot take for many people, because a lot of people don't like Sunshine that much, but it was like the first Mario game I really was mine, and I really had the time to just sit down and play it a ton. And I love the aesthetic of it. Like, I remember the goop and the paint, icky substance that's all over the place. God, I've seen the stupid intro to Mario Sunshine. That's a big blemish on Sunshine. You can't skip that stupid intro where Mario gets put on trial. But I remember thinking that stuff was so colorful and it was so nice, and I loved everything about Super Mario Sunshine. Bowser Jr. was super cool. We get to hear Peach talk and all of this stuff. I do think the final boss of Sunshine is a little bit weird, if I'm gonna be real. Like, the final boss is very odd, in my opinion. Very, 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 very odd. That being said, also, I'm wondering... I think Super Mario World should actually go back down to A. I think Super Mario World should be a high A for me, mostly just because I have not played it nearly as much as these two. I just have really fun nostalgia memories of Super Mario World. But I haven't actually done a full playthrough in quite a while, so I don't know if my feelings would hold up for that one. But yeah, so we might have some of that where I adjust the tiers a little bit. These two definitely deserve S, though. But yeah, loved Super Mario Sunshine, spent way too many hours on it. Once again, has a lot of music and stuff that I love. I do think some of the designs of creatures and stuff in there are kind of weird, like Boo's got kind of a weird look in Super Mario Sunshine. But the level was a little bit easier for me to go through because Big Boo's haunt in Super Mario 64 terrified young me. Could never go there. Like, everybody talked about, oh, I got scared by the piano. I got scared by the piano too. And guess what? I never went back to Big Boo's haunt, ever, after that experience. I was already shaking in my boots just going to it in general because it was spooky. But when the piano got me, no, never again. No. So, Sunshine's great. Sunshine's fun. I love Sunshine. It has some weirdness, but it holds a special place in my heart as being like my first Mario game that I actually owned myself and played a ton of. Super Mario 64 DS. This is another weird one because I actually love this game too. I spent an enormous amount of time on Super Mario 64 DS. I don't quite think it's as good as Super Mario 64. The character swapping mechanic, while cute, it's just kind of weird and can be kind of a pain at times because it's like, oh, well, you can't get this star because you need Wario or you need Yoshi, and like, unlocking them is cool, and then getting to run around as the different characters, like, that's neat, and I do like how they leaned into that a lot, but quite frankly, I still think Super Mario 64 is the better overall experience. That being said, we cannot overstate, and this might put it into S just behind Super Mario 64, we cannot overstate how incredibly impactful the minigames were to me. Like, I think I probably spent more time playing the minigames and playing blackjack with Luigi than I did playing the actual game itself. Like, this was prime when I was in daycare. All of us had DS's. I got my first DS. I got the Nintendogs bundle, and I had the cute little decals on it that had like a Labrador on there and stuff. So you know, I had that. But Super Mario 64 DS was one of my other first games, and yeah, I played the absolute hell out of the minigames in this. Just enormous amount of hours spent on Super Mario 64 DS. It's kind of crazy. Just on the minigames alone. There were so many. I played like there was like a Yoshi cloud jumping one. There was the Do They Love Me, Do They Love Me Not one. I mean, honestly, I did play a lot of the card games with Luigi. I played a few of the Wario ones, I recall, too. I would have to get a good look at all of the different games again to know which ones I played the most of, but I remember obviously going to Luigi's Casino quite a bit. It was just fun for me, but I tried to like get the highest scores as possible on every single game, and of course I did unlock every single game, so Super Mario 64 DS is more of like a cute, interesting curio for me. It's almost like a ROM hack or something weird of Super Mario 64, like, when Nintendo does this kind of stuff nowadays, where they remake a game and then make some slight changes to it, they usually just add like a DLC. Like, I'm thinking of like Bowser's Fury, or I think there was one for Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Odyssey. What did Odyssey have? Well, Odyssey hasn't been remade. I guess Galaxy had some added stuff when they remade it recently, didn't they? I think so. I can't quite remember. Or Galaxy 2? Maybe it was Galaxy 2 I'm thinking of. But yeah, they don't do stuff as crazy as what they did here in Super Mario 64 DS, because they just straight up changed how the game worked. It wasn't just an extra little bit of added DLC like Nintendo does nowadays. It was like, no. They changed the core mechanics of the game and then added a bunch of minigames and stuff in as well. So, holds a special place in my heart as like a weird little curio. New Super Mario Bros. U, I'll be honest, haven't played enough of it to have an opinion. I have played it, but it was probably like an hour or something at a friend's house where I played it and I just wasn't that crazy about it. Same goes for New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario Bros. U. Like, this whole franchise I just completely skipped out on. Or this whole series, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really played any of them. So yeah, I can't really have an opinion on those. Sorry to fans of those. I'm sure they're good games, I just never really played them. Super Mario Galaxy. So, Galaxy is an interesting one for me because I do think Galaxy is phenomenal. And I did replay it recently in the like little collection. Still pissed off that they didn't have Galaxy 2 in the collection. They just had Galaxy 1. And it's good. I do like it quite a bit. I know it's weird to not have it in the same tier as Super Mario 64 DS, but I need to stress that, like, really the only reason Super Mario 64 DS is up there is because of the minigames. It would be, if it was just the game, sans the minigames, it would be down here in A. But the minigames, like, they elevate it just because of the amount of nostalgia and stuff I have for just sitting there playing those games so much. So yeah, Super Mario Galaxy, I do think it is very good. Like, it is a very good game. I think I didn't play it as much when it originally came out because I wasn't as crazy about the motion controls. So I do think I'll still put it down here. This is going to be such a sacrilege video for people to experience, you know? But these are my opinions, these are my experiences. I know I have weird experiences and opinions. We all have some of those, and this is mine. Galaxy doesn't stick out in my head as much as these. Whether you chalk that up to nostalgia or what have you, you know? You can say I'm like the Mario version of a... I guess I wouldn't be a Gen 1er, I would be like a Gen 2er. Which is, frankly, pretty accurate to my Pokemon opinions, because I love Johto the most. But, yeah, I think Galaxy goes here for me. Haven't really played a ton of Galaxy 2. I have watched a playthrough of it and know enough about the game. I do think Galaxy 2 is better than Galaxy 1, in my opinion. But I haven't really played enough of it myself to form like a full-fledged opinion on it. But I have watched enough of it. These, I like haven't even watched. I haven't even watched someone play these, so I have no experience with these whatsoever. I have nothing to say about them. But the introduction of Yoshi here makes things really cool. I really like that whole gimmick in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Having Yoshi there is fun. Having Yoshi anytime is fun. Shout out to people talking about how you could play Yoshi by getting to the top of the castle in Super Mario 64 and stuff like that, and unlocking Luigi, all that weirdness. Which I think that was how the idea for the Super Mario 64, maybe that's some random bullshit that I just saw online, but I want to say the rumors about being able to unlock Luigi and Yoshi in Super Mario 64 spawned this idea for Super Mario 64 DS where you could, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was some like fake Nintendo article that I saw, you know, there's a lot of that. Super Mario 3D Land. This one I did play a pretty good amount of. I believe this is a DS game, it doesn't show it here. But I played a pretty good amount of this, and I remember having a fairly good time with it. I think it'd go like right here for me. Once again, above Super Mario Bros. 3 may be sacrilege for some people, but I just don't have as much experience with Super Mario Bros. 3 as I do this. Most of my time with Super Mario Bros. 3 was that era way back when I had no idea what I was doing. So, Super Mario 3D Land, I remember having a good time with. It kind of... I think of it as like kind of the first time I experienced like a lot of Nintendo's current design philosophy with like collectibles and levels, because Super Mario 3D Land had like, oh, there's 3 special coins or something that you had to find in each level, and they're super well hidden and stuff. So the idea of like you replaying levels to get all the collectibles and stuff like that, and Nintendo uses that philosophy so much now. Like Kirby in the Forgotten Land has it. God, there was another... I think Wonder has it. But a lot of their 2D games, like, yeah, they have those sorts of things. Like, Kirby's Epic Yarn has something like that. Yoshi's Woolly World might. But, yeah. It's kind of one of the first games I remember seeing where it was like, okay, this just inspires a lot of the inspiration for how collectibles and stuff work for 2D Nintendo platformers from then onwards. I kind of remember experiencing that, but I had a good time with it. It was fun. It's good. Super Luigi Bros. U. I haven't played it. Because it's basically just a remix of this. It's like the Bowser's Fury, except it was like a new game, basically. And that came out year of Luigi, I think, but... Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. I think Super Mario 3D World is very good. It will probably go above Super Mario 64 DS for me. doesn't quite reach the heights of Super Mario 64 or Sunshine, because I do just like the open world exploration ones. I think that's probably why these rate above like Galaxy and stuff for me too, was because it was more open, you know? Like you kind of, like you do have worlds that you go into, but you also have like a hub world to explore. Here you kind of just have the Starship Mario and that's it. And it's mostly just like you choose which level you want to go in, you go into it. You don't jump into a painting and then choose which one you want to go into. And here you don't like, you know, go on like a weird graffiti goop teleporter and then go to the world you're going to go into. I just like the exploration of these. It's quite similar to my opinions on, I'm one of the people that like Sonic Adventure 1 more than Sonic Adventure 2. Just because I like having a hub world to explore and stuff, you know? I like that. So that's why those rate highly, and that's why this would be a little bit below them as well, because it you know, has the same, like, you choose a level, you go into it kind of thing. Sans Bowser's Fury. I think Bowser's Fury is cool. I don't think it elevates it above these two, but I think it's very, very cool. I do like it. I do like it quite a bit. Super Mario Odyssey. This is probably going to be completely unsurprising. This is my favorite Mario game of all time. I love Super Mario Odyssey. And this is particularly surprising, especially for the people that may have thought I was, you know, leaning really heavily on nostalgia for some of these picks. This is just so, it's my favorite Mario game, there's no question about it. Nostalgia aside, like in everything, I played this when it released. I was an adult. I definitely, as an adult, find I have a harder time really getting into games and just like super enjoying them. This game was the exception to that. I absolutely loved Super Mario Odyssey. Like, if they did a remake of it, I would probably get it and play like the little added-on DLC that they have, you know. It's a phenomenal game. I absolutely love it. A lot of people didn't like moons and stuff. I kind of enjoyed it. I was one of the weirdos that got every single moon, by the way. one of those people. That's how much I enjoyed this game. I got every single one of them. It was a good experience to have on the Switch because, like, obviously in the mainline, like as you're just going through the story, it's a good experience to sit down and play. But once you're trying to collect like a lot of the extra moons and stuff, it's really easy to just pull your Switch out, grab a few things, and then, you know, be on your way, basically. So yeah, really good experience. Super Mario Odyssey. I loved... A lot of what I loved about it was the colors and stuff, but also the movement. The movement was phenomenal to me. Like, learning the movement of Odyssey and getting good at it just feels so good. Something that I really like in platformers is when, like, precision platformers have their place and stuff like Celeste and Meat Boy, but I always love something like Super Mario Odyssey more because I like having the ability to make a slight, like, mistake or screw up or something, and have the ability to save yourself by knowing certain techniques. Like, in Odyssey, I can accidentally, like, fail a jump and fall, but I might be able to save myself by, like, throwing my hat, diving to it, jumping off of it, and getting back up on the platform or something, you know? Like, there's a lot of really cool movement like that that you can use to save yourself, so there's, like, kind of a degree of... you can fix your mistakes. I'm not sure. I know there's a term for it, but there's a margin for error in Odyssey, and you can, like, learn to get even better at that, and I like that experience. I like that gameplay loop of being able to save yourself. Like, if you fall, it's not insta-death. You might be able to save yourself by doing some cool maneuver. You might even be able to skip entire platforming sections by doing a cool maneuver, and I really like that. I just love the movement of Odyssey. The worlds are cool. I don't think the moons are as interesting as, like, say, Sunshine or Super Mario 64, but I think the mechanics and everything there elevate it even higher for me. It obviously also was kind of a return to form of the Sunshine and Super Mario 64 kind of gameplay, where you do go to different worlds and then there's all kinds of things for you to do in them. Super Mario Odyssey has absolutely banger music. It doesn't have music that I like as much as Super Mario 64, but it still has really good music, like the Steambot Gardens one. I know that's a song that people absolutely adore, and for good reason. So that's by and far my favorite Mario game. Probably the only one. I I've ever 100%ed? I'm trying to think. I don't know if I 100%ed Super Mario 3D World. I don't even know what that entails. I mean, I did all the challenges and then I did that crazy challenge at the end. But I don't think I've ever gotten all the stars. I don't think I've gotten 120 stars in Super Mario 64. No, I did. Didn't I? Yeah, I did. When I played it on the collection, I guess I did there. I did get all the stars when I played it on the collection. I've never 100%ed Sunshine. That is absolutely true. Because I remember when I replayed the collection, I didn't get all the coin sprites. I didn't get all the coin shine sprites. And I think when I was a kid, I never beat the stupid lily pad level. You know the one. One where you gotta take Yoshi through the damn ocean and wait around forever. There's a lot of annoying shine sprites in Sunshine, but I still love it. But yeah, Odyssey, fantastic. I also think Cappy is just a fun character, and it's a fun idea. The taking over enemies mechanic is just really, really cool. It has a lot of really good stuff in it. So, Odyssey, definitely my favorite. I guess that kind of spoils where Wonder is going. I think Wonder is the best 2D one. I really like Wonder. Wonder did a lot of really weird stuff with the mechanics, and I love it for that. Obviously, I think there is a pretty big gap between. You know what? We're gonna do it. These should go down. These should go down to A. These should go down to A. They should. Maybe this will cheer some people up about my opinions. These three are by and far my favorite. S needs to be a exclusive tier. Obviously, I don't think any Mario game on this list is absolutely god-awful terrible. I feel like you'd be hard-pressed to find an absolutely god-awful terrible Mario game. Like, aside from, like some of the edutainment games like Mario is Missing and garbage like that, which isn't on this list because they're not mainline. But yeah, I think that's where things go. Super Mario Bros. Wonder did some really, really cool stuff. It was just hard enough to be super fun, and it had a lot of unique like challenge levels and stuff. Its challenge level was not quite as painful as Super Mario 3D World. I still think Super Mario 3D World has by far the most painful challenge level of any Mario game. I haven't done Star Road or whatever in Super Mario World. Galaxy 1 and 2, I don't think their stuff is nearly as painful. I don't think the stupid mini golf that we had to do was as bad as this. Super Mario 3D World is definitely the worst final challenge in a Mario game. But Super Mario Bros. Wonder was pretty difficult too. Odyssey's as well. Odyssey's like Dark Side of the Moon stuff isn't as bad as Super Mario 3D World. That one's definitely the most painful out of all of them. But yeah, that's kind of where everything lies for me as far as the Mario mainline games go. Like I said, I haven't played these, but I mean, I don't think any of these are super wild takes, except for maybe Sunshine being as high as it is. I don't feel like I would really get super crucified for Mario opinions. I feel like Zelda opinions would be where I would really get crucified, just because there's a lot of very strong opinions in the Zelda franchise. Maybe I'll do one of those one day, although there's a fair bit of those I haven't played as well. But yeah, that's where things kind of shake out for me. I just thought this would be a funny, dumb little video to do for Mario Day, since, you know, the things are happening. There's the movie, I've never even watched one of them, and all of that, and yeah. I guess miscellaneous other Mario things. Rosalina's my favorite character. I think probably my favorite stage across any of the Mario games, or like specific star or level or whatever, is the Manta Ray one in Super Mario Sunshine, just because it's kind of cool. I remember doing that one a lot just because I find it fun, the big Manta Ray that you split up and then you have to like hide on top of trees and stuff to try and survive and all that. It's a fun one. Favorite world? Ooh, I don't know. That's a hard one. There's a lot of really good ones. Maybe Jolly Roger Bay. I do love me some Jolly Roger Bay. Just the aesthetic of it and the music, obviously. Noki Noki Bay is also really good. Apparently I just have a fascination with bays. But yeah. Super Mario Odyssey. Do I have a favorite level in Super Mario Odyssey? Maybe the dinosaur one, the first one. Maybe that's a pretty good one there. But yeah. I'm rambling too much now. This video still needs to go up, so hope you've enjoyed. Hopefully people are actually interested in these weird little things. I don't normally do these because I'm like, do people care about my opinions? But I don't know. I'm harder on myself than I should be, I realize at times, and sometimes you should just do a thing, and it is fun to just kind of ramble about these opinions and get them out there and stuff, so hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for another one of these at some point, probably.